This podcast is produced by the Harwood Productions Podcast Network. To learn more about the network and to find more of our shows, visit us online at www.harwoodpodcast.com.
Happy holidays! Today I've got a wonderful and easy bread recipe for you. It's called English Muffin bread. And if you've ever had English muffins, you know it has kind of a cornmeal bottom. But the secret ingredient that makes it not just plain bread is it has just a little bit of baking soda in it. So let me show you how you can bake one nice big loaf. Now we're going to be using bread flour for this recipe, and if you recall, bread flour is a type of flour that has extra protein and gluten in it to help the structure of the bread. So we're going to measure out 2 1/4 cups of bread flour, and we're going to put this right in our mixer bowl. Then we're going to put in 1 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast, 1 tablespoon of sugar, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then the secret ingredient, a 1/8 teaspoon of baking soda. It's not a lot, but it does give this bread almost a sourdough taste. Then we're just going to put this on the mixer. I am using the paddle, not the dough hook, and I'm just going to spin that around to get it mixed up. Then in a small saucepan, I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of water and a 1/2 cup of milk, and I'm just using a 1% milk. And we're going to put this on a medium temperature, and we're going to let this heat up to 120 degrees. Now, once we get there, we're going to take it off the heat, take it over to the mixer, have the mixer going, and we're just going to go ahead and pour that hot liquid right in. And then what we do is we just let the mixer go, put the timer on for about 5 minutes. Now, this dough is going to come together real nicely, and after 5 minutes, it's going to be perfect, just like this. Then we want to get our loaf pan, and I use a little bit of canola oil. I'm just going to drizzle some in, and with a paper towel, I am going to grease the entire sides, bottoms, even that very top lip of this loaf pan. Then we're going to get some cornmeal, 2 or 3 tablespoons, and we're going to coat the entire inside of this loaf pan with the cornmeal. The reason is that this dough, even though it doesn't feel sticky, when it's baking, it will totally stick to the pan. So you have to go ahead and coat it with the cornmeal just like this. So after 5 minutes, your dough is totally ready to go, and you're going to see it is a beautiful dough. It feels really great. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to pull it out sort of into the shape lengthwise of the loaf pan, and then I'm just going to pop it right inside. Now this bread only requires 1 rise, so we're going to go ahead and create our proofing box with our microwave. So we get just a 1 cup measuring cup full of water, pop it in the microwave for a minute to get the water nice and hot. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move the water from the center of the microwave back to the corner like this. Then we're going to go ahead and get our loaf pan, and we're going to bring that right into our proofing box. And we're going to put a nice clean towel on top, and we're going to let this double in size, and it only takes about 30 minutes. And then after our 30 minutes, we're going to take it out of the proofing box, and you'll see that it's risen. It's pretty much doubled in size, and you're going to want to make sure that your oven is preheated to 400 degrees, because then what we're going to do is pop that right in the oven, and we're going to bake it for 25 minutes. So at this point, the house is smelling amazing. The bread has risen just perfectly. Look at that. And it's time to pull it out of the oven. Now, what I like to do then is set it over on a rack for just a second or so. And then with your hot pads on, you're going to want to flip the dough out of the loaf pan. And you're going to see the reason that we use the cornmeal. Look at how easily that popped out. That's fantastic. There's nothing worse than going to all the trouble of making a loaf of bread and then you can't get it out of the loaf pan. So then we're just going to let this sit on this rack and let it cool for a little bit. And just a quick reminder, don't forget to vote for the Tasty Awards. I've been nominated for my Farmers Market Gourmet Show. And remember, if you haven't voted, you can just go to the Daily Bread website and I'll have a link to the Tasty Awards voting page. But you do need to vote by January 5th. Well, this English muffin bread is fantastic, and it's really amazing too because you can have this fresh baked loaf of bread in an hour. It's unbelievable. Now, it's great with just some butter or butter and jam if you like, and you don't have to wait to eat it while it's totally cold. It holds up beautifully when you cut it. Now, if you want to try it at home, just go to our website, visit the Daily Bread show notes, and I'll have the recipe there for you. And then, of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email. Happy holidays, and I'll see you next time.